Hey everybody, this is Doug Mark from Learning Zen, and we are here with 5 franchising questions. I am so excited about my guest. This is Liane Caruso. She's the Senior VP of Franchising at Entrepreneur Media. Thank you, Liane, so much for joining us. We're excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I've mentioned this before, that it's kind of a platform for suppliers to the franchising industry to talk a little bit about how their business supports franchising. And you are supporting franchising a number of different ways, both in your past as well as with your current role right now at Entrepreneur Media. Can you talk to us a little bit about how Entrepreneur Media supports the franchising industry?
Sure. Well, Entrepreneur Media, we've been in business for over 46 years, I think, and they actually started with franchising. So franchising has been a big part of Entrepreneur as they've continued to grow over the course of many decades. And we just launched our 44th annual Franchise 500 list, and that's the premier list of all things franchising. So we had over 1,300 entries this year to bring all of these brands that help promote franchising. And then with that Franchise 500 list, we also have a portal. We have a bunch of resources online, videos, webinars, podcasts, articles, tons of content on franchising. And then we have a ton of other lists like fastest growing, best restaurants, top mobile, all sorts of things like that to be able to promote franchising in lots of different ways.
500 lists that you talk about are really great because I like the fact that I can say, hey, what's in my sort of budget as far as my investment level I can do, or, which one is going to take the least amount of my time and things like that. So I can use these different lists to kind of get ideas about good brands. But in that Franchise 500, I'm seeing the list of those brands that are really kind of performing well right now. So I love the immediacy of it and being able to do a bunch of the heads up research to get started. That you mentioned the Franchise 500 list, but you actually have a couple of new things coming out as well. I know you're launching the Entrepreneur Mastermind, and maybe we're unveiling the Hall of Fame Awards right now on this podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
Sure. Well, let's start with the Mastermind. That's something that we're launching actually next week. And it is brand new to Entrepreneur, but we're launching it with franchise executive marketers. So we're gathering a select group of VPs and CMOs of franchise brands, specifically to come together to do peer-to-peer networking, to discuss challenges and issues, successes, and kind of be a resource to each other. And we're doing it at Sundance, Utah next week. And so it's going to be 2.5 days of basically disconnecting to connect. I think one of the things that we don't often get, we have tons of conferences and events that we can go to, but and lots of panels and resources, but it's rare that we get to connect with each other. And so bringing those marketers together and kind of talk through the franchising industry, what's going on in trends in consumer marketing, franchise development marketing, corporate marketing, and all of those good things. So I'm very excited to launch that. Of course, it's going to go farther than franchise CMOs, but we're launching with franchise CMOs. So can't wait to unveil everything that happens there.
So you're moving from conference to conference, and you do a lot of different ones. Can you tell our audience something kind of obvious that they should be doing at conferences that might help them grow their business?
Oh, great question. I think, first of all, I think anything with business has to do with people and relationships and building connections. And I think that, you can see that from LinkedIn, and you can see that, when we're at different events and taking pictures and all of the paparazzi, I like to call it. But I think it's really just making sure that you're connecting with the right people and maintaining those connections. So whether or not it's, meeting at the bar or setting aside time to meet with clients or prospects, or maybe people that you haven't met in real life yet. To me, it's really just about people and making sure that you're making those solid connections, and then following up with on LinkedIn and any other platform where they reside, and making sure that you're maintaining that relationship on an ongoing basis. And then, of course, also following up via email to make sure that there's a connection there, that you said that you followed up with what you said that you were going to do when you meet them.
This community is extremely welcoming. I'm a person that's actually introverted by nature, which is a little odd when you see me doing this type of thing. But at a networking event, I'm almost crippled, when it comes to like walking up to a group of people. And so, this is me putting it out there that if you see me and I'm not talking to someone, please come over and talk to me. It's not that I don't want to be, it's that I struggle with, social anxiety in those situations. So
what's very interesting that you say that. I also am very introverted, and those events are really hard for me. And I actually have to, and people are surprised when I say that, but I actually have to go to my room a lot and just kind of take a break. I'll just disappear. I'll do the Irish goodbye. I'll go to my room. I'll take a break because I have to kind of recharge.
Yeah.
Those events are not easy for me to do, but we built such a, we call it all the time on social, the franchise family. So we built such a tight-knit family and such close friends, and relationships among the franchise group. So I feel safe with so many people. And oftentimes you meet new people from, them coming over and talking to people, just expanding your networks of people that you're already talking to that you didn't know. And, and then a lot of it's just making email connections. And I think I've pretty much ended every single email. It's like, will I see you in Vegas? Will I see you in Vegas? So that I'm starting to make the move like, okay, let's set up some time to stop or to talk or stop by the booth or, whatever that takes. But I agree with you. It is very hard for me as well.
So you've held chief marketing role in a bunch of different, businesses that you've worked in. I know you've worked with our buddy Nick Powell's as well at 1851 and No Limit. You've been in this marketing space for traditional and digital for a long time. How'd you get into this space? What's kind of the draw for you into the marketing side of things?
Yeah. So, I started my own agency back in 2009 here in Tampa, and I didn't know anybody. I kind of started with social. I won't go through the whole thing, but I started working with other agencies, helping them bring social media into their agencies, because this was like right when Facebook just was launching business pages. And I started working with local business owners like Massage Envy. And so I started with one Massage Envy owner, and then she connected me with somebody else, and she connected me with somebody else. And I started working with the region. And then I started working with agencies who were working with franchise brands. And so that's how I just, everybody kind of falls into franchising. Right. But for me, what I love about franchise, well, first of all, I love marketing, but what I love about franchise marketing and being in the franchise industry is, first of all, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I thrive on chaos,
yeah.
But I love seeing entrepreneurs succeed. So with franchising, you get a double dose of entrepreneurship, right? So you get the franchisor who is ultimately a visionary and created something big. And then you get the local store owner who's an entrepreneur, and you're working with different kinds of budgets and different kinds of challenges. But I just love that component of it and helping businesses grow.
When we talk about the franchisee, also an entrepreneur, maybe they'd like a little bit more structure. Right. So maybe not as free flowing as an entrepreneur as the person who started the brand, sure. but they want to control their own destiny and own their own business and kind of, work for themselves at the end of the day. But they also love kind of like that blueprint or framework that they're inside of, to kind of keep them aligned, and it helps make them successful. So it's good that they've got some structure when they come in.
Right. Actually, in our January-February issue, we just published an article called Are You a Systempreneur? So it's very much so these entrepreneurial minded folks who do want to own their own business, but maybe they don't have the same mental craziness that it takes to be an entrepreneur, but they want to do the thing, but they just need a process or kind of a business in a box type thing. So I thought it was an interesting play on entrepreneurialism for franchising.
Oftentimes marketing is aligned with sales, or marketing is aligned with operations. And in my line of work of training is often seen of as kind of like an expense, maybe not an investment. But I've always felt like that's a little bit backward, because I think to have successful franchisees using the marketing tools, there's a training element to that, right? And I was just wondering if you could kind of tell us a little bit about your feeling on, does training align with marketing and operations and sales, or is it just an expense?
100% no. That's absolutely an investment, because first of all, when you get franchisees, they're not all marketers. I was actually having this conversation the other day with a new, a micro emerging brand, and talking to her that, you know, when you get your franchisees in, they're not all marketers, and they may or may not even understand marketing. They may have some understanding of it, but it definitely is rarely local store or consumer marketing. And so I think education and providing resources and tools is key, because if you don't understand what the marketing is doing for you on a corporate level, or the vendors that you are often being told to use, if you don't understand what they're doing for you and the expectations and the result set that you're supposed to get, then it kind of sets everybody up for failure. So I wholeheartedly believe that a marketer's job, first and foremost, and I think any agency person will tell you this, is their job is to educate their clients on marketing. So I believe that training is critical and key to that. And not only for your franchisees, but for your operations folks, corporate, everybody training in the field, and your franchisees are all aligned on what marketing is supposed to be doing for you, because they do all connect with each other. So I think everybody should be trained on what marketing is. It doesn't mean you have to understand and go build a pay-per-click ad. It
Right.
just means you have to have a holistic understanding of what it is and what it's doing for you.
You hired college hunks hauling junk.
Yes.
And I want to know if it was awesome because they are college hunks, or because they did a great job hauling your junk.
They did a great job hauling my junk.
Okay.
They really did. I've actually used them a couple of times. They're based here in Tampa, first of all. So
there we go. Shout out.
And full transparency, I have worked with them as an agency partner.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they did a fantastic job. I love to support local franchise brands, and you know, whenever and wherever possible. But they did a really great job, and the guys were super, super nice, and great customer service, and they handled my junk really well.
I bumped into them at shows. They're awesome. So I'm glad that you're talking them up and so forth. But yeah, well, Liane, thank you so much for coming on 5 Franchising Questions. We really appreciate it. We know that you're a big influencer in this space, so everybody make sure they follow Liane online. Liane, can you tell us how do people go to get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can find me on, I think LinkedIn is probably the easiest place to go. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just search for my name, Liane, last name Caruso, Caruso. And then you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Hello Liane, or Twitter, but I'm not much on Twitter.
And chances are you're going to see her at a conference coming close to you in the next year. Liane is all over the place at conferences, so that is awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the show. We truly appreciate you giving up your time for us. That is awesome. Thank you all for following, for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like and share with your friends. Have an awesome afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.